Today, we're making Lebanese-style lamb stew. One of the things I love about Lebanese cooking is that we start to get a whole new series of flavors, tastes, and textures from different spices. And one of the common spices there is za'atar. So what I'd like to do is I always like to take my za'atar spice and just go ahead and rub it on the lamb. And you want to really work it in there. Now you want to let this rest at least 4 hours for those spices and flavors to work their way into the meat. The salt's going to help break down those proteins and transform it as it's slow cooked. We're going to go ahead and put it in just some heated olive oil and we're going to let it brown. We're just going to go ahead and sear this off. And then once this has seared off, we're actually going to remove our lamb shank. And we're going to go ahead and add some onion right to the pot. And there'll be bits of goodness stuck on the bottom there. Those little bits actually have a name because they are so very important. It is called fond. And what we want to do is get in there and we want to scrape that up so that it gets into the stew. These are little flavor bombs. And then right at the end, we want to toss in a little bit of garlic, and that sets the base for this one pot lamb stew. And now you can see that we browned this lamb and it's got this beautiful crisp edge to it. It's exactly what we want. I'll go ahead and put a little bit of lemon juice in, put the whole quarters of the lemons in here as well. Then we want to add some carrots, and we're going to also add some turnips. And we're going to add about 6 cups of water to this. And then we're going to go back and visit our old friend, the bouquet garni. I've got a bay leaf, thyme, oregano, some cloves. You can add whatever spices, whatever herbs you like. And we're just going to tie a little safety line, a little lifeline for our bouquet garni right there. And then we're just going to drop this in. And this whole thing now becomes one pot cookery. We're going to pop it in the oven, low and slow, for 250 degrees for 3 or 4 hours until the meat is almost falling off the bone. Should be just about fork tender, because at that point we're going to add our other vegetables. So we want to add them at the end when they're at their peak of flavor, the textures are just right, and that's what's going to make this really, really, really good. We've let this cook several hours. It's just about fork tender. We're about 40 minutes to an hour from this being ready. We've got our zucchini over here. We've got some green beans. And again, these are things that I'm finding at the market that are in season. We want to use some tomatoes over here. These wonderful heirloom tomatoes. We've got a little fresh peas. So we've shelled them. We're going to add them in. They're going to add some nice sweetness. And of course, once we put these in here, we're going to do a little pepper, and we're going to grab a little bit of salt as well. And we're just going to let that now cook. And about 20 minutes from the end is when we want to add our very delicate vegetables like these Swiss chard leaves. So we're going to let this cook off. And while this is finishing in the last 40 to 20 minutes or so, then we're going to go ahead and make our fricka. Fricka is very young durum wheat, the same genetically different from modern bread wheat that was used to make the fine Italian pasta. We've got some salted boiling water over here. We're just going to go ahead and add our fricka, and now our fricka is literally on. Take a look at our finished lamb stew. You see these vibrant colors of the vegetables. They're perfectly cooked because we added them at the right time. Timing, timing, timing. It's everything in cooking. We're going to go ahead and take this lamb shank now and bring it over here, because when we serve it, we want to serve the meat off the bone. And I can just take my fingers and you can see it is literally just falling apart. That's how juicy it is. Look at that, perfectly cooked, perfectly succulent, and full of all the flavors from just simmering all day long. Our fricka is done. We're going to take a little bit of mint. Lamb is very rich. It's very satisfying, so a little goes a long way. But the mint really helps to cut it. We're also going to use a little bit of parsley here, and we're going to mix this up. We're going to take some, and we're going to just use that on the bottom here. Now we want to get some of this very rich stew. Get some of that. We're just going to ladle that on there. And again, remember to use whatever you can get that is fresh, seasonal. That's the really key ingredient in this. Not necessarily just a carrot or a zucchini or whatever it is, but it's about the freshness, it's about the quality. Then we've got this incredible lamb just falling apart because it was cooked so low and slow. I'm going to put just a little bit there. And I want to season with just a little bit more of the za'atar spice on top. And then we're going to go ahead and garnish with a little bit of mint. Michelin level Lebanese style lamb stew.